In part 1, we took a look at the best LEGO Star Wars set from 1999 up to 2012, so in this video, we'll be starting at 2013 and working our way up to present day in 2024. There won't be any spoilers, so after you finish watching this video, you can go back and watch part 1, but until then, let's go over some ground rules again. First of all, we won't be counting any UCS sets, since it's not really fair since they would just dominate the list. And second of all, just because a set is the biggest doesn't mean it's the best, and so I'll have a lot of unconventional picks in this list. Arguably the best year of LEGO Star Wars in 2013 brought us the Jabba Sail Barge, the BARC Speeder and Sidecar, and then the Z95 Headhunter, but my favorite set is going to be the Republic Gunship. Out of all of the Republic gunships we've seen, this one still remains my favorite even over the UCS set. We see a really nice sleek design which really proves that LEGO should not be downsizing new models. This is just one of very many sets that proves why 2007 to 2015 is truly the golden era of LEGO Star Wars. The quality of the minifigures is top notch, but the selection is where it truly falls apart. We only see 2 clone troopers, and I would have liked to see enough to fill out the entire gunship. The Coruscant Police gunship and the Ghost are 2 incredible sets we saw from 2014, but we also saw, in my opinion, the 2 best battle packs of all time, which made this really difficult to choose. I give the slight edge to the Kashyyyk Troopers battle pack. Here we see a perfect selection of minifigures with 2 Kashyyyk Scout Troopers and then 2 regular Phase 2 Kashyyyk Troopers. The detail in these minifigures is just absolutely flawless and nothing that we could ever receive nowadays. The Swamp Speeder is also a nice little build, but at the end of the day, all we really care about is those awesome Kashyyyk minifigures. Moving into 2015 for some honorable mentions, we have the Naboo Starfighter and then the Battle Droid Troop Carrier. But coming in at $100 is my favorite set of the year, being the Tydirium Shuttle. Just like the gunship we talked about earlier, this shuttle is another golden era ship that recently got downsized and therefore looks a lot worse. Not only was this model the perfect size, but it also looked great, had great functionality, and was very sturdy with a Technic design. The minifigures were also incredible, as we saw Endor, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, and then 2 Endor troopers. You can debate whether one of them should be counted as Captain Rex or not, but we do see them nonetheless. 2016 brought us a very wide variety of sets, including the U-Wing, the Clone Turbo Tank, Captain Rex's ATTE, and the TIE Striker, but coming in at $90 and 863 pieces from the Rogue One wave, I have Krennic's Imperial Shuttle. If you didn't know the story behind this set, it was actually chosen last minute to replace the Zeta class cargo shuttle we see in Rogue One, and therefore I think it was a really good decision because this thing turned out just incredible. The design of this ship has a really sleek look, which looks a lot like the Inquisitor transport scythe that we saw in 2022. For the minifigures, we saw, of course, Director Krennic himself, K2SO, Bodhi, Pow, and then 2 Death Troopers, but unlike the ones in the battle pack, these both have shoulder pauldrons. Due to those awesome looking shoulder pauldrons, these are 2 very coveted minifigures that are worth around $20 to $25 each. There's no such thing as a 10 out of 10 LEGO set, but if there was, this set would sure be giving that title a run for its money. 2017 was another solid year for LEGO Star Wars. We saw some Last Jedi sets and then a bunch of other random sets scattered throughout. Some honorable mentions being the Jedi Starfighter with Hyperdrive, the Y-Wing, and the Resistance Bomber. But out of all of these, my favorite is actually going to be another battle pack, the Imperial Trooper battle pack from Rogue One. At just $15, this battle pack is the perfect opportunity to build your Imperial army. We see 2 Stormtroopers and then 2 Death Troopers, and like we just said, these do not have their shoulder pauldrons. I honestly think this is perfect because it makes the Death Troopers in a more expensive set feel more special. These Stormtroopers have the perfect helmet mold and are well considered the best version of the Stormtrooper we've ever received. Now the Walker build is really ugly, but honestly who cares? The Kessel Run Millennium Falcon is a really underrated set to come out of 2018, but my favorite set of the year is gonna have to be the TIE Fighter. Based off of the Solo movie, this TIE Fighter includes both a Mud Trooper minifigure and then the very expensive Mimban Stormtrooper. This is the best playscale TIE Fighter we've ever received, and one that's definitely worthy to make a spot in any LEGO Star Wars collection. They got the shaping of the cockpit absolutely perfect, and I believe this model is actually minifigure scale, which is pretty cool. 2019 was a very interesting year as we saw Darth Vader's castle, Kylo Ren's shuttle, and the 20th anniversary Slave 1. But out of all of these, the best is going to be the Tantive 4. While it was a bit overpriced at $200, it did contain 1,768 pieces. Not only is this the best Tantive 4 we've ever received, but it contains a very nice Bail Organa minifigure that's exclusive and is also worth like $75 to $100. The Wedge Antilles minifigure is also stupid expensive, but he re-released in the new Boarding the Tantive 4 set, so I would obviously recommend picking up that. This set is just so perfect, there's honestly nothing I would change, except maybe how many stickers there are. That's really the only downside to this set. There's also a carrying handle on the set, which is great because it gives it a lot more playability. 2020 was honestly one of the worst years ever for LEGO Star Wars, but there were some decent sets like the Razor Crest and the very underrated Duel on Mustafar. But my favorite set of the year is gonna have to be the AT-AT. It had 1,267 pieces and retailed for $160, and still to this day is widely considered the best AT-AT to ever exist. This set is super accurate and contains Luke Skywalker, General Veers, 2 AT-AT pilots, 2 snowtroopers, a turret, and a speeder bike. While the minifigures are really nice, I would have liked to see a couple more because it just doesn't feel enough for $160. As far as playset AT-ATs go, it's the perfect size, it's sleek, and honestly just the perfect model and nothing I could even change about this set. One of the most underrated sets ever is the Mandalorian Starfighter from 2021, containing 544 pieces and retailing for $60. I will however also give a shout out to the Imperial Light Cruiser, as that's also another very underrated set. While the set unfortunately only has 3 minifigures, the quality is top notch. We received Gar Saxon, Clone Wars version of Bo-Katan, and then a Mandalorian Loyalist. This set is downsized from the 2012 version, but I honestly think this was a good move. The other one was honestly a bit too big. I also think the blue and dark blue combo looks really good on this ship. While the set probably could have gone without the spring-loaded shooters, I love how you can rotate the cockpit. It makes for some incredible playability. 2022 was honestly a really terrible year for LEGO Star Wars, with the only standout sets being the Inquisitor Transport Scythe, and then my favorite set of the year, the AT-TE. This is definitely the best version of the AT-TE that we've seen. It's downsized and super detailed, which makes it perfect to fit in MOCs. There was a lot of controversy surrounding this set when the designer said he never even considered putting in a crab droid instead of the very inaccurate spider droid, and then the helmets on the 2 12th Troopers have some really terrible printing quality. The 2014 versions are much better. Minifigures aside though, this set is so perfect. It's sturdy, it's got a very nice carrying handle, there's so much interior, tons of playability, really just everything you could ever ask for in a playset. The Ghost from 2023 might go down as one of the best LEGO Star Wars ships of all time. At the $160 price point, they had a lot to work with here, and boy did they deliver. The set itself is so beautiful with the most incredible building techniques I've ever seen. If you have not picked this up, I would highly recommend it. The very unfortunate downside of this set is that it has probably the worst minifigure selection I've ever seen in any set ever. It doesn't even get talked about, and I don't know why. It's so bad. If I had to look at this beautiful ship and these terrible minifigures, there's no way in this world they were made by the same company. Finally, 2024 has been a very decent year. Some really solid sets, but not a great year. But that being said, not a bad year by any means either. Boarding the Tantive 4, Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon Battle, and the Imperial Star Destroyer are all some really solid sets that could have taken the cake in any other year, but my favorite is actually going to go to a top 10 battle pack, being the Clone Androids battle pack. Because the 501st Super Battle Pack in 2020 was the best selling set of all time, they decided to give it another go with this set. The quality of the minifigures unfortunately isn't really there, but for $30 we see an astounding 9 minifigures. I also really like the droid build side of things, but the clone builds are pretty lackluster. While I'd say new battle packs definitely can't compete with golden era battle packs, this one is a must have for any LEGO Star Wars fan. Alright guys, that's gonna do it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button while you're down there. Once again, if you have not seen part 1 of this video, make sure to go and do that. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to stay bricked and check out more LEGO videos coming up on the end screen now.